I want to bring in my guest, and I'm glad that he can get me at short notice for what has taken place. Where he's sporting his ball cap today. Hot damn. How
I
you doing,
thought I was
Andre?
throwing you with your hat. I have to have a hat
I know,
also.
right? He's like the Hat Brothers. How you doing? You doing okay today?
I'm doing fine. How are you? Hope
I am
everybody's doing
doing okay.
well.
Andrei Telizhenko. He's a Ukrainian whistleblower, former diplomat. I brought you on. This is going to be somewhat of a quick spot, but I wanted to get your take on something. I this is has to be one of the most shameful acts that I've seen in a very, very long time, and I cover news all day. So Russia and Ukraine apparently agreed upon a prisoner swap. All right. Russia has 6,000 Ukrainian troops that have been killed in the war. And they bring these troops to the border, and Ukraine decides we don't want to take them. Now, there's several reasons that they don't want to take them. One has to do with, okay, well, it looks bad. You have so many people that have been killed compared to the number of people that have been killed by Ukraine. Okay, that looks bad for us, that we don't want to show that, especially when we've been telling people that everything is going fine. Two, you have to pay these people, meaning you have to pay the family members for every military person that comes back dead. It's almost like you have an insurance policy, an agreement with the government, a responsibility of the government to compensate for the person that just died. That's rational, right? If this person is a breadwinner and this person is bringing in a certain salary, there's a salary over the course of the person's life, the government says we need you to go fight, and the person dies, and the government has a responsibility to compensate that soldier for paying the ultimate price for his country. I mean, look, whatever I think about this war, these are soldiers. The bravery and what they've been willing to endure is unquestioned, right? Um, this is, again, this is what has been taking place on the border. This is the truck that they brought out. The bodies are in the truck. These are around 1,200. Apparently, there's 6,000 total that they're trying to deliver. And they have just been sitting outside in the heat, decaying. And the people said the smell is atrocious. Apparently, there are even more bodies because I think there's 6,000 total. And the Ukrainian government don't want to take. What's going on with this, Andre?
Unfortunately, yes. I commented this a day before on our team, our day
Mm.
before it actually happened, because I was getting information from inside the government that the Kiev regime was going to try to sabotage that process of body exchange, and that they're going to try to undermine what Russia's trying to do, give back the bodies
How do you
back.
sabotage this? I'm sorry. How do you even sabotage this? It's we have bodies of soldiers, of Ukrainian soldiers that have died, and we are trying to give them back to you. And they're like, we don't want them. How do you sabotage that process? That's very
That's
straightforward.
that's how they sabotage. They didn't take them back. The bodies are there. The Russians are refrigerating them in the trucks, but they've been there for like for 3 days already. And the problem is that is the sabotage, not to take them back. Now Kiev is announcing they're trying to do it next week, but they're already there. Come pick them up. The Russians are not saying give us back our bodies. We're going to give your back bodies. We have your bodies. Take them. The Ukrainian side doesn't want to take them. They're putting posters and doing propaganda, going on their knees all over the Ukrainian cities. If you don't go on your knees in front of the dead body, you're going to get to go to prison. That's what they're doing for a show. But in reality, 6,000 bodies from the Russian side were picked up, also picked up by the Russian side. The Ukrainian army never picked up their bodies. To pick up
Body.
your body on the battlefield from the Ukrainian side, take it back, the loved one of that person who died has to pay $10,000 to the military. So they're
What? Wait, wait,
a
wait,
bribe
wait, wait,
to take them back from
wait.
the battlefield.
Did you just say that for you? Wait a minute. For the Ukrainian military to pick up the bodies of dead comrades, people who've died fighting for Ukraine, the family has to pay the government
Well,
$10,000?
not the government, the military, the bribe, the military personnel who's in their base or whatever in the structure, or in the Ministry of Defense, they have to pay a $10,000 bribe to take, so the body would be picked up and given, or pick up the body. Yes, it's on the battlefield. We know where it is. What? There's a lot of videos out there, and from the soldiers from the Ukrainian side, just understanding that their comrade has died. They're just taking out his shoes, his weapons, and leaving the body there to rot. Because it's like, why should you carry it? It doesn't matter. And the Russians are picking up all those bodies, picking up and taking them back, and then basically putting them into order. And remember when also going back, Zelensky, as soon as this announcement was made, and the Ukrainian side agreed in Istanbul, agreed they will take these bodies back. That there's a list and they agreed upon them. Zelensky right away said, "Oh no, no, no! Only 15% of those 6,000 are identified." There was already a signal, and I already then commented on this. Said, "Look, something is wrong. He doesn't want those bodies back. First of all, it's for bad for his PR. Oh, all these like 6,000 bodies. It's like a village. A huge village of people just dead. You bring them back as dead bodies. That's it. Second of all, Ukrainian regime, the key regime doesn't have the money to pay out the families because they're paying around. They should be paying around $350,000 for a dead soldier. And you know why Zelensky in the couple of years, last year said that there's only 65,000 dead to the Wall Street Journal because
Oh, because they
oh,
didn't want to pay.
they
That's
only paid
why.
out 65,000 of the, so out of a million dead, only 65,000 got paid out out of a
Oh
million.
man,
So that's the
Andre,
reality.
I didn't even think about that. Because in my mind, I was thinking, okay, he just doesn't want to acknowledge that all of these people have died because it
Also
looks bad.
that, but also
But
the
your point
money,
is, he has to pay
acknowledgement,
money.
money. Yes, everything. There's everything involved in this. PR, acknowledgement, money, looking bad, like whatever. So everything is in the picture here. So that's why the key regime is not wanting to go this procedure or trying to basically sabotage it and try not to take the bodies back because they have to also go in front of the loved ones and say, "Oh, these families, we can't pay you out." But also, not only you have to pay a bribe to take your body back, but you have to pay a bribe, a percentage out of those $350,000 upfront to take that money from the Ukrainian government. That's why so many people that didn't get paid out. So
And just
few
be
only
clear,
did.
the Ukrainian government is supposed to pay $365,000 for a dead soldier.
Yeah.
And they have been effectively saying, well, your person is missing. And the
Yes.
problem with what Russia
And
is
th-
doing
and then they
is,
gave an order. They gave a law, which we're trying to push into the parliament right now, that they're gonna only pay out to the families 3 years after the conflict, and so only after the conflict they will be able to pay out to the loved ones who lost their soldier on the battlefield. So they're trying to push this after the conflict. So after this war is whatever's going to end, only then, and then there's going to be a new government. And these guys are going to flee with all the cash because what Zelensky's doing, he's stealing that money from the families. He's putting it in his own pockets, buying villas outside of Ukraine, and the U.S. taxpayer dollars. The Democrats, the neocons, oh, we should support Kiev. He's being bombarded by Russia. Oh no, this is the evil. They're supporting the evil because these guys not only are stealing U.S. taxpayers' dollars money from people who are still, thank God, still alive, but they're stealing from their own people who are dead, who fought for them, just for them to be in power, who believed in them, who believed in their propaganda, who were then caught and then thrown as dogs to the front lines. They still didn't pay out these people money. They didn't care because there's Ukraine today is not the Ukraine it was before. It's an evil regime stealing from its own people.
and
Sorry,
by
I'm
the way,
emotional on
no,
this
no,
because
you're fine. You should be emotional. I mean, it's outrageous. Like, can you imagine? Like, that's outrageous. Like, that is astonishingly outrageous. It's breathtaking to watch that. Because the point that you're making is like these people gave their lives for the country. And your response, like, Ukraine has a responsibility to the soldiers, every bit as much as the US would have a responsibility to the soldiers who go and fight in various countries. Many of those people were dragged off the streets and thrown into the front lines. Many of the kids who were like 18, 19, where they said, we'll give you a bunch of money if you go fight, knowing that they were going to most likely die before they were ever going to collect the money that they were supposed to get. And after they die, the government's response is, we're not going to acknowledge that they're even dead. And Russia's like, well, please take your dead. They're like, no. And Russia published a list of the names of those people who effectively are in those trucks. That's astonishing. This is not going to have political consequences for Zelensky. I can't believe that the Ukrainian public is going to be okay with this. Looks like this would be really destabilizing to the regime.
It's not being talked about in the Ukraine media at all. That's what they're trying to ban Telegram in Ukraine, because that's the only other source people are getting some information at. But there's so much false news out there, bots out in the Telegram, where people are reading like false stories. Like there's big followers of those Telegram channels, but you cannot trust them. Like nobody, the Russian TV Telegram channels are blocked. The Russian TV is blocked. RT is blocked. Only CNN is watchable in Ukraine, and the same thing as the local propaganda channel. So there's no big difference. So that's the reality of what Ukraine is, and the West is also closing its eyes on this. Look at, we talked about the killing of Andri last time, and how the Western journalists said we have our line of the story. The same thing here. They have their line of the story. They don't care. This never happens for the Western journalism. Yeah, we're gonna win a Pulitzer Prize. We're gonna write about something else. We're not about the dead soldiers that are being taken by the Ukrainian side, but we're gonna write how Zelensky is powerful. Give him a voice on ABC News and let him talk and ramble that he's not getting weapons, not getting paid. This is the reality of what we're facing today. Propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. In Ukraine, people hardly know about this, who only read different Telegram channels and have access to VPN, but most of the other population, older population, doesn't know what VPN is. They're used to reading old school news, and the same thing here. So it's the reality is the degrading situation in Ukraine and the Western Hemisphere, that nobody's going to talk about this. That then when Russia's going to hit, they're going to all start talking about that Russia hit some buildings, even though then today, at least the French press started talking about that Ukraine is using building regular buildings for
Right.
civilian buildings for not human shield, for building drones in them. They're using civilian buildings and having civilians build drones in their apartments and their house complexes, like mass production, not just some one drone a month, mass production of drones. So that's what Russia's hitting also every target we see on the news. But they're using this all for PR, closing down the picture, closing down what's happening on the ground. The reality is Ukraine is evil today. The Ukrainian government is evil. They're destroying its own country. They're destroying its own people. They don't care about the heroes who died for them. They're heroes. They're calling them heroes. They died for them. These people died, basically lost their lives. They were thrown on the battlefield away. Nobody picked them up. The Russian side picked them up. And when the Russian side actually offered ceasefire after these Istanbul negotiations that happened recently for 2-3 days, to pick up the bodies of the soldiers following both sides, what Zelensky said, "Oh no, we're not going to give them a chance to do that." There's a public interview that people can go and look at this last week. What Zelensky talked about the ceasefire. No, we're not going to pick up. We're not going to let them pick up bodies and give them a 2-day off to pick up. We're going to continue the fight. It's their way to try to regroup. It's a lie. This is what Zelensky is about. He doesn't care. He doesn't believe in God. And he's just destroying not only Ukraine, but leading the world into World War III, and trying to have U.S. involved in this also.
Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Honestly, I mean, I know it was short notice, but I definitely wanted to get your take on this.
I'm always happy to be on your show. It's always open to talk about things that are actually people should know about, and I hope a lot of people do listen to you. I know you're getting bigger and bigger. People are listening to you around the globe, so hopefully that continues.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Andri Telizhenko, he's a Ukrainian whistleblower, former diplomat. You be safe, man. Thank you for this.
God bless you. God bless everybody. Thank you.
Have a good one. All right. Just